What's up, family? This is Dane Diesel with Billionaire Belief back again for another reaction video. We have another article today, and it comes via Entrepreneur Magazine, and it is titled Only 2% of Black Families Have a Net Worth Above $1 million, according to a new study. So let's go ahead and bust this article down and see what type of insight and knowledge we could gain about this source of pain for Black families to get a better understanding of what we can do to overcome this problem so that we can start taking steps to shrink the wealth gap and as mothers, as fathers, as brothers, as sisters, aunts, uncles, do what we have to do to ensure the longevity and prosperity of our families. So let's go ahead and dive in and dissect this bad boy. So it says only 2% of Black families have a net worth above $1 million, according to a new study. In comparison, more than 1 in every 7 white households have surpassed the $1 million mark. So basically 1 in 7. So for every, 1 in 7. So for every 7 white households, somebody's a millionaire. So let's see what we can learn. So an estimated 2% of Black households, roughly 340,000 families, have a net worth over $1 million, according to Economic State of Black America report. In comparison, more than 1 in every 7 white households have surpassed the $1 million mark. Wealth flows through us, not to us, says J.D. Smith, author of Financial Distancing, How to Economically Quarantine Your Wealth. Interesting title. In an interview with Black Enterprise, we shouldn't be 6 feet apart when it comes to building wealth. He continues, we are constantly transferring money from one institution to another. We go to school and have to take on additional jobs to fund our education and overall living expenses. Money typically goes from our jobs to the education system, and this pattern doesn't stop after graduation. We get into the workforce, money often flows from our jobs to pay hefty mortgage and student loan payments to keep up with the lifestyle of our colleagues. We need to allocate more money toward investing if we want to build wealth. So this is a very important little paragraph, a point my man was making. And what he's basically saying is that, once again, the previous video we talked about where, hiring millennials are living paycheck to paycheck. Once again, same aspect, lifestyle creep, living above your means, spending more than you're earning to keep up with the Joneses, or because you want to live this comfortable and expensive lifestyle. You feel me? Like, that's what's keeping people, specifically in this case, Black families, from moving forward. Now, there's other things, there's other things in the mix as well. But one of the things that, we as Black families and Black individuals, we have power of choice. So if we're choosing to spend our money on things that do not benefit us in regards to our building our wealth up, then those are conscious decisions that are keeping us from moving forward and building our wealth up. So like he says, in this case specifically, the transferring of money from one institution to another is another big issue. Once again, this is going back to how many times does money cycle in your neighborhood? Because, like you're saying, we earn money, but because we have these, student loans, these high living expenses, we have families, we got these things, this house, this mortgage, we got these things that we paying for. So it's like, yeah, we're earning money. Then we're just spending the money. So real quick, that's why I love this. We'll go ahead and pull up some. There we go. BB Courses, Earn Your Keys Volume 2. We got to pull my man's name up. Let's pull the cash control blueprint up real quick so we can walk through this. So as we see in the cash control blueprint, so like he's saying, money gets transferred from one institution to another. So you earn income right here, booyah. Money gets earned right there. Then it comes into your checking account, like so. But because you don't take a bust a piece of this down into your savings account, it goes straight to these expenses, and these expenses represent these other institutions that the money is getting transferred to. So you earned some income that got sent to your checking account via direct deposit, but it goes straight out to expenses. Very little, if any, goes over down to savings, so that we can fund our capital funds and have some cushion funds, because it just went in and went out. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the problem. The money is just coming in and coming out, coming into you, then transferring right out to these other institutions. So if you're doing that, you're not gonna have no money left over to save, so you can put towards some capital funds, so that you can buy some stocks, buy some crypto, buy some real estate, start some business, or any other type sort of investment you want to be a part of. You feel me? And you won't have no money for crises, like emergencies, things that happen, or major purchases that you want to buy, like the house, the cars. The kids going to just your kid is going to college, and you need to get them a computer, you need to get them a TV, you need to get them some food. You feel me? Like, all that kind of stuff matters. But if you don't have the capital, and then the reserve cash stacked up to be able to buy those things, and you're not going to be able to build your wealth up. So let's move right along. The net worth journey for black families. This week, McKinsey and Company released a new study examining the major factors that contribute to wealth gaps facing black Americans. The study explores ways in which occupational choices, spending decisions, debt load, and saving habits contribute to the net worth of black families. Now, we'll stop right here, because this is actually a very important sentence, because, like it says, the study explores in which occupational choices. So occupational choices basically means your job, and your job basically means skill. So as we learned from the wealth triangle, we got to, ideally we want to have a high income skill, because a high income skill obviously going to be able to put us in a position to earn high income, and higher income means that we have the opportunity to have more money to put aside to investing, if we can control our spending decisions, which is the next factor, spending decisions. So this is where obviously the spend less than you earn comes into play. So discipline, living within your budget, staying within your spending plan. And then the debt load. So this a lot of people, millennials specifically, we have student loan debt because we did go to college, and hopefully we have little to no other types of debts, with the consumer loans, consumer cards, credit cards, store cards, things like that. Well, not necessarily. We're using them responsibly. I'll say that, because that goes down to what type of debt load we're going to have, and then saving habits. So, like I said before, going back to the cash control blueprint, your saving habits. So once again, when you get this income, what is the first thing that you do with the money? This income comes in your checking account. Like, what's your first move? In my opinion, that first move this money needs to come down. Money from this checking account needs to come down to this savings account. Period, point blank. A percentage. Whether your percentage is 10, 15, 20, 50, 80, whatever your percentage is, I suggest you start off with 15 just to get started. But whatever that is, that's the first thing that needs to happen. Money comes into your account, income comes in, money in to this checking account. The first thing you need to do before you buy a pack of gum is to send your said percentage to your checking account. Bada bing, bada boom. And then whatever's left over, expenses. You feel me? So that's what they talking about right here. When they talking about occupational choices, spending decisions, debt load, and saving habit contribution. Saving habits, and those contribute to the net worth of black America, to black families. That is very true. So let's continue. The study also examines how policy and labor laws consciously lifted the wealth potential of the white middle class while excluding black workers. The sum of these factors and centuries of inequities have contributed to the growing wealth gap we see today. So boom, the sum of these factors and centuries of inequities have contributed to the growing wealth gap we see today. So once again, part of our main mission here at Billionaire Belief, you want to shrink that wealth gap. We want to close that wealth gap, and the best way we can close that wealth gap is getting our mind right, then making sure that we improve our skills so we can high income skill, earn that income, stack that capital, buy them assets. So Let's move right along. The report summarizes occupational representation in various industries with the United States. Black workers are concentrated in low-wage jobs. They are also paid less than white workers for doing the same jobs. According to the report, more than two out of five black workers earn less than $30,000 a year. In the long run, lower earnings leads to less savings, more debt traps, and limited investment opportunities. Another important bar right here, because it's basically saying that, and these are the systematic issues that I spoke of before, by design, but like it says, based on the research, black workers tend to have lower wage paying jobs. And because they have these lower wage paying jobs compared to their white counterparts, they're either paid less than just their white counterparts, just on GP, or their white counterparts who are doing the same job, they just pay less. So these are the systematic challenges that face black families, so black men and black women. These are real challenges. So no matter how great some of our fellow brethren and sisters want to do for themselves, there are real challenges that are there are real invisible structural challenges that are inhibiting them from being the person that they want to be, earning the income that they want to earn. You feel me? No matter how hard that they try, you know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful of that. This definitely affects some of our fellow black brothers and black sisters. But you know what I'm saying? If you're in a position to where you're not necessarily affected by this, then it's on you to do what you got to do to build your wealth up, so that eventually we can get to a place where we can start pulling dollars, creating businesses, and creating jobs. All right? So, like it says though, in the long run, lower earnings leads to less savings. So if you don't have a lot of money to save, if you're not really earning a lot of money because you do have a low wage paying job, then you're going to have less money to save. You're going to fall into more debt traps. So this is your payday loan situations. You know what I'm saying? Like these are your the credit card situations. All the high interest debt at the end of the day. Like these are the debt traps that you'll fall into. So not having money can cost you money. Having a low wage job can cost you money, and cause you to miss out or have limited investment opportunities. It just is what it is. So let's continue. Overall, the report reveals that black households have 1/8 the wealth of the median white household. When you break down the numbers, the inequities are even more depressing. As estimated, 7.8 million black families have a net worth of less than $10,000. So that means the totality of all they own, less all that they owe, is just $10,000. Approximately 3.5 million families have a negative net worth due to the overwhelming burden of debt. So 3.5 million black families have a negative net worth due to debt. And more than likely, the debt is there because of the lower wage jobs that limit investment opportunities and allow them to fall into more debt traps and have less money saved. You feel me? So let's continue. More black families are aiming for $1 million net worths. Although the wealth statistics are startling for black families, there are a growing number of individuals who are moving closer to the financial goals every day. So people's out here building that wealth up. Lakeisha Simmons, an associate professor of analytics at Belmont University, started her wealth building journey in 2016. She only had $5,000 in savings after her marriage ended. 5 years later, her net worth has exceeded $750,000, and she's on track to become a millionaire next year. Simmons reached her goal by managing her expenses, maxing out her retirement accounts, and investing in brokerage accounts. So basically, she took these 5 bands. She basically managed her expenses, so she lived within her budget. She lived within her spending plan. You know what I'm saying? She spent less than she earned. And then she put a lot of that. She maxed out her savings retirement account, so she saved at the end of the day. She saved. She stacked the capital, and in a sense bought assets through her retirement accounts. But she also took some money and she some brokerage accounts. So this is your Robinhoods, your Webull, your TD Ameritrades, your E-Trade accounts, and she bought some stocks and or some ETFs. So basically, she earned some income, she stacked her capital, and she started off with 5,000, where she would stack her capital, and then she would take said capital and buy assets. In this case, her retirement account. So that's more than likely going to be securities, so stocks and ETFs, as well as her brokerage accounts, which is again stocks and ETFs. So it says, let's continue. More black people are retiring early and showing others how to build their net worth at any age, because that's really the key right there, ladies and gentlemen. You got to build your net worth. That's when. So when you're hearing people say build your wealth up, like that's really just your net worth. So the difference between assets minus liability. So stacking your asset column, building a strong asset column, as Robert Kiyosaki talks about in Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like that's the goal. So going back to the cash control blueprint. So these basically, all these accounts, like these represents pretty much, your net worth at the end of the day when we're looking at the cash control blueprint. So you're doing all this up here. So your income and your checking account, all this is done and set up so that you can funnel money here to these savings accounts, or I'll say here, to these savings accounts, so that you can then buy assets as well as have cash stacked up for crises, major purchases, and fun, as well as to buy stocks. So when it says buy stocks, so this is what they meant right here when they said that she maxed out her retirement accounts and invested in her brokerage accounts. Like that's what they're talking about, all right? So it's conscious decisions, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move right along. Many black people are retiring early and showing others how to build their net worth at any age. Jackie Cummings Koski started investing her money and reached her financial independence at age 46. 3 years later, she retired with a net worth of $1.3 million while making less than $95,000 a year. So there are plenty of people who made more than $95,000 a year when Mrs. Cummings, or when Jackie got to the same point. They didn't have what she had. But once again, I'm willing to bet Jackie was able to take this 95 bands a year and get her net worth up to 1.3 million because she had a plan. She earned her income, she stacked capital, and she bought assets. Period, point blank. So low savings rates have led to more debt in black communities, according to McKinsey & Company study. That's why Koski advocates saving a consistent amount every week to achieve financial goals. So once again, if you let's say you get paid weekly. So if you get paid weekly, then every week you should be busting down a percentage of the income that you have earned should be bust down into this savings account. Period, point blank. Like you said, I encourage you to start with 15%. But, you know what I'm saying? If you want to take it up a notch, you can go to 30. You can go to 50 if you can afford it. You know what I'm saying? You know your situation, but you have to have a plan. You have to have a system. You have to have this structure in place so that you can start to build your wealth up, so that you can start to grow your net worth, so that you can start to pay your debt down and get your wealth up. You feel me? Like it takes strategy. You feel me? It takes a plan, and this is part of that plan. So at the end of the day, if you want to build your wealth up, you gotta have a plan. So like it says, low savings rate lead to more debt in black communities. That's why Koski advocates saving a consistent amount every week to achieve financial goals. So once again, I encourage you to save a fixed percentage every week, no matter how much you earn. So let's just say, keep the math simple. If it's $10, so if you earned $1,000 in 1 week, and if your savings rate is or if your stacking rate, I should say, is 10% of your income. So like I said before, as you'll learn and earn for keeps, you know what I'm saying? You're really saving. You need to look at the money you've earned not as one thing as income, but as two things: income and something else. When you take the earn for keeps course, you'll figure that out. But you have to see your money as two things, not just one thing, if you want to build your wealth up. Because if you see it as one thing, then you're not going to be doing the second thing that needs to be done for you to get it done. For you to get your wealth up and for you to achieve your financial goals. So let's continue. She shares that saving $50 a week for 40 years could help more people achieve their millionaire goals. I agree with her. So $50 every week, that's $200 basically a month. 12 times 2, that's $2,400 a year invested. Now, like I said, that's just real simple, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, let's just say if you earned $500 a week, 10% of $500 would be $50. But I encourage people to have a fixed stacking percentage, because if you have a fixed amount like $50, then let's just say if you earned more that week, then you're not really capitalizing on that additional income that you earn if you have a fixed amount. So that's why I say do a percentage. But most importantly, just do something. And like you said, I understand it might feel painful, or you might perceive some pain, like, oh my God, like my money's already tight. I'm already struggling with these bills. Like, how am I gonna save 10% of my income, 15% of my income? You know, I'm already struggling. But like I said before, it's a mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's a way of life. So you have to take it off top. When you first get your paper, when you first get your income, you have to you have to save that percentage off top. That's the first thing you need to do. And if you do that over time, you'll get in the habit of doing that, and you're not going to even notice it at the end of the day, the difference. So moving right along, you're going to need to be saving or investing. You're not going to be saving or investing unless in your mind you believe it will make a difference. And this is very important. So this is part of that billionaire belief. You have to believe the steps that you're taking at your quote unquote, most painful point in your life, you're most confused financially. You have to believe these baby steps, this foundation is going to make a difference for you to continue moving forward. It begins, just like I said, it's a mindset. So you have to believe, ladies and gentlemen, and that's part of billionaire belief. You have to believe that you can do it. You have to believe it will make a difference, even though in the beginning it might not seem like a lot. Oh, I'm only putting $50 down a month. Oh, I'm only able to buy fractional portions of shares of stocks. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're getting started, and that's what's most important. Over time, as you improve and you really start to see it, and you start to get inspired and motivated, you're going to ramp it up, and you're going to start to earn more income so that you can start saving more, stacking more, investing more, buying more assets. That's just how it goes down, all right? So let's continue. It may take a while to really get your head around things like me, but it happens. And when it does, it is very, very powerful. The report shows that the median black family wealth is $24,000, while white median wealth is around $188,000. According to the report, black wealth could skyrocket if financial barriers were dismantled. So once again, these financial barriers are these, high concentration of black men and women, working these lower paying jobs, these structural systematic challenges. That's what they're talking about. Those are the financial barriers that need to be dismantled. So it looks like the end of the article. Good game right there. Definitely has some real nuggets of wisdom, but you know what I'm saying, we've talked about it. So like I said, to recap real quick, only 2% of black families have a net worth above $1 million. And the one way we're going to make this happen is, once again, we need a mindset shift where, at the end of the day, we're going back to financial lifestyles. We go from being borrowers and spenders to keepers. And then we need to consistently do that over time. And what's going to inspire us and motivate us to do that over time is understanding that what we're doing right now, even though it might not seem like a lot, will make a difference in the future at some point in time. And that's what will keep us going forward. So once again, we got to earn income, stack capital, buy assets. You know what I'm saying? And in order for that to happen, you got to have some structure. So I encourage you to go download, the Earn for Keeps course, so you can get your financial house in order, understand how to use this framework, this blueprint, for you and yours. And from that, you know what I'm saying, like you will then have a visual representation of how to structure your financial house, so you can have your accounts mapped out properly, have your financial house in order, so that you can build your wealth up. All right. So head up any one of our social media platforms, click the link in the bio, click on the Earn for Keeps course, pay a tuition, and then make it do what it do. Now, if you want to learn how you can get $10 off, DM me. And if you really want to learn how you can get it for free, holla at your boy. All right? Dhane Diesil, we out. Peace.